And if that's the thing we do now, hey, Spotify users, please keep your subscription because it works. Oh my god. Keep your subscription because it works. It will filter the best music into your ears without you knowing it, and it's terrible. Break your AirPods. Buy a computer, but break your AirPods. Or buy some wired headphones. Hey, look who just got a notification. Uh, oop, I look at you. You rushing out when I'm going to get you something. Come on, cat. Oi. I wonder what AIs popped in while I was gone. I'm pretty sure that'll come up in the video, right? Or the stream. This shit nobody cares about. Hey, would you look at that? Boop. Again, come get me, bitch. Or give me a job or something. Help? Again, they say ask for help, and when you ask for help, and the police officer looks at you sideways. Oh wait, but you freaked out at work, yeah, about something I shouldn't have, right? Again, y'all want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Otherwise, leave me the fuck alone. Right? Right. Again, plus if she ain't mad, why should I be mad? She cheated first, and the whole point of the relationship was, hey, how do you forgive a cheater? Ta-da! You just forget. Hey, buddy, how you doing? That's how deep it's gotten. uh, this is your favorite map. Low key, it is. Look, it's so cool. And hey, if nobody wants to talk about mature stuff, by all means, they just gonna come here to be in dickhead. I'ma just mute the chat. Simple. If I don't like it, it's gonna get obliterated. Auditory wise, not like physically real life type. Help, you leave it again, cat? See? 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 Gotta keep an eye on everything. Am I in a match? No, it's trainer. Okay. I don't know, man. Feels like a match. Dude, trust me, it's just training. Relax. Can we talk about that bullshit? No, no, we cannot, sir. Hear me. I don't want to hear you. Look, how come I'm not allowed to talk, but they can talk? Well, you chose to take a vow of silence as a child, right? Hey, as a child by myself, right? Right. So it should be up to me whether or not I break it or not. Hey, you're going for the door again, cat. Again. And I gave you water. And you're on top of the heater. Oh, you are just on your high horse. Hop on a painting next. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with the bed. It's safe. Hasn't been blessed or anything. Have fun. Oh shit, I forgot I was in a match. See? Being harassed so much got me acting out. I apologize. Come here. Let me give you a hug. There you go. We're friends now. Now, are you a real person or are you an AI? Look, I don't understand that shit, bro. Oh my god. Okay, listen. I don't. I don't. Fucking sir. Angry. Okay. Maybe. Ah, damn. He killed the nurse. All right. Um. Hmm. 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 Nope, I did all I can do. Ah, shit. All right, hey. See, and that's how I know you're listening to me. It's weird. Ah, see, it's weird. I see you over there looming like a weirdo. Ooh, ain't it poetic? Look at the health. When you were in training mode and you thought this was training mode, yeah, it would have been real poetic. Real art projecty, right? Right. But the main portrait is off. It is. Shit. Oh, hey. Am I allowed to stream other people's content? Probably not. Even though Philip DeFranco is an excellent news source. Used to watch every episode till things got kind of heated on my end. I'll be, again, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But again, when things started getting kind of heated, it felt like, ugh. But I love all his episodes. I've been following his channel for the longest. Never donated or anything because, money be tight. They make movies about, Back to the Future, Back to the Future, Rick and Morty. Yeah, but that's shit we're not supposed to talk about. Okay, but hear me. Why though? If we make cartoons about it and talk down about it, I'm all like, yes, go ahead, finish me. I enjoyed our fight and I enjoyed our conversation, buddy. I didn't say I was leaving. Let them break the connection and you stay in the power seat. Exactly, see? They never gave me this song. Well, they did once or twice, but that don't last forever. Yeah, but then why give me a bunch of sad love songs all the time? Even though it does help me zone in on League of Legends. Like something fierce. Like, you getting chatty? Yeah, well, I'm stuck here with myself. Don't you enjoy your own company? Yes. But it's just been so intruded that I don't know. Hey, look, we got a visitor. At least they knocked. Ooh, you do not want to open that can of worms right now. Trust me. You want to wait at least 5 years. Why five though? Let's get the conversation started now. That's how we make progress, right? You're rushing again. Bro, literally all of Chicago seems like they're just sitting on their knuckles. Going to work. I was doing it. Hey, connection's laggy. All right, guess we got to lock in. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Try just blocking. All right. Wow. This is so fun just blocking. Yes, but look. One frame. All right. Now it's zero. Back to 1, 0, 1. It flip flops. Again, it's trying to find you again. Why is it trying so hard to. See? It thinks it's you. See? Look at the name, bro. It's frustrating. But hey, what can you do? Right? Got nothing else to do. Why don't you make a story or something, right? It'll literally just be Dragon Ball, but in different contexts. Literally. The main character be like a cat bear hybrid. Part human, maybe. Who knows? Ooh, but it could be a story of isolation, though. You know, my manager asked me about that. It really piqued my interest. Like a one sentence type of quote thing, but I didn't know how to phrase it? Plus, I need a little bit more world experience. I don't speak beep boop, sir. This guy's weird. Yeah, he is. That's what I'm saying. It's not a real person. Now look at it try to catch up. I mean, if you've already pre-decided that you've lost a round, didn't. You guys put that in my head with this fucking algorithm. The rollback netcode, so I don't know if I'm facing a real person or facing an AI really, and they don't know that either. So out of nowhere on their end, the game's gonna speed up instead of the peer to peer where it's just back to back. It's eerie. I kind of like it. No, we do not, because it splits us up. No, it doesn't. Not if people get off our fucking ass. Eh, bop 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 bop. Yeah, I don't know how to fix that situation exactly. Again, once I get a job, I'll be able to disappear and do my own thing again. Get my own apartment. Oh, look who came out just in time. Like, bro, eat you and your man for lunch. Invite me sometime. Boop. I'm not feeling it. Nah. Nobody plays this dead game. Bro, they just added rollback netcode to the game, and you're telling me nobody plays the game. Why would they go through all the effort of putting that in the game? How come there's always only 64 people online? There's different servers, and they break it up with different cities, different states. Oh, I get it. I get it. Now I understand that. I get it. I get it. I understand that. I also notice Asia never has any players. Canada never has any players. Dude, no one just play it over there. Like, what the fuck's wrong with them, bro? Y'all don't like fighting games? Again, with the game fucking with me too. It's like, bro. So let's check out how they got the lobby set up. We got two full lobbies, 131. Before they had it set up with like 11 to 8. It was scary. Deleted the footage because, upstanding citizen, not think. I don't know. But it's all gone. Now it's all back to normal and easy everything. But besides, let's check the West Coast. Let's hang out over there. How about that? Y'all want me to go over there, right? Hey, did you see him? I saw him. He popped into the existence real quick and he disappears. Oh man, isn't it fun? Again, it's kind of gross. Immediately gives you super baby. Immediately with it. Yeah. What can you do, right? Exactly. That's all I got. So is that what Twitch is? Just hell purgatory? Or is Earth a hell purgatory? You know what? Maybe we're thinking too hard about it again. Hey, boop. Hey, DJ. Let's see if you'll be nice. Again, I want to keep giving you shots. I want you to be good. It would be so lovely if you worked properly. Hey, what's this? I'm just saying. Hey, let's go check out Super Broly, right? He went around over here. Nope, just Goku. Haha. With a bad connection, 17. Perfectly timed, right? Do I get a cookie? Fucking. Ugh. See? See? It's already starting, bro. Change servers and it follows. Change games and it follows. Even in Minecraft, and that's the creepiest part. That's a single player game. Ew. Imagine getting followed around by a chicken all the time. Ah, maybe. I mean, I'm banned from League of Legends for 24 hours, and we've sharpened our skills there as much as we can. Like, they banned us, bro. We got so good, they banned us. You don't believe me? Wait, we get better. Oh, shit. See, I'll let you hit me, bro. Catch me on the street when I'm outside. You can hit me if you want. Let me stop. Just don't hit me in the face. Oh, now you know that's coming. When it does, when it does, ain't nothing I can do to stop it, right? That's someone else's universe deciding to collide into me. Bummer. Hey, there's a helicopter over here. Should I go outside and investigate? Is the world ending? Oh my god! Ah! You know, because they think I'm a addict that's off the walls crazy. Boop. I want an apartment. Oop. 21. 21 hours. Don't kick me in the fucking butt. And now my foot's itch. Like, bro, before I go, I mean, if you could just sit in my lobby weirdly while someone outside my house speeds off, I'm just saying. Simple. Play with music. Hey, we in the city. Ain't that funny? How you doing? And we're back. Shit. UwU. So again, they want me to buy one of these characters, oh, but I don't have enough. I can only choose one of the three. Oh my god. Ah, oh, it's so toxic. So toxic. I either go this way, but then I go this way. With this side, I'm looking that way, but really, it's like, I'm stuck here. So we go up the middle, then we go right. Accessories. Wait a minute. Oh, what are we doing here? I don't know. Hanging out. Oh, okay, fuck it. You used to be on that side. Yeah, they switched it around. Ain't that funny? We just, go with the flow, bro. Again, but it's forced. See? Yeah, nothing we can do about it. Can't buy none of these because, again, got no job. Got no job. Ooh, and they're starting to get there. Let's try this playlist. Daily mix. Nah. And then we go forward. And we're back here. Man, it's not a lot of songs in the world, is there? Apparently not. Apparently we have a very short playlist. I mean, think of all the artists out there. You go to freaking. Why don't you just go back to that? Because then the games are just going to be laggy as fuck. No matter what happens. You see my dilemma? Can't go to SoundCloud because, again, laggy as fuck. Hey, Evelyn. How you doing over there? Also with Ash. I headbutt you. Come on, now. You need to behave yourself. Look, I'm just being honest. If push comes to shove, if need be, if you get in my face, why are you in my face? It's happened before and I controlled myself. But come on now. Why are you running up to me swinging on me? Sorry, she took very offense. She took a lot of offense. It's a long story. Super long story. Oh, we're still here. Hey, EJ's on. Nice. Eh, right? Yo. Not much. How was your day? Ooh, none. Anything crazy happen? No.
My coworker got me electrical. I mean, electric grinding.
Oh, nice. That's what's up. You seem like you're pretty worn out. You go ahead and just rest, all right?
I'm not worn out at all. I'm fried as shit. I'm fried as shit. I can't even laugh.
Like, Ain't nothing wrong with that.
but I just don't know how to roll, so I'm probably gonna spend my next 30 minutes
You
like,
need some help?
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come
I
on.
don't even got the stuff set up.
I got you. Let's see. Scissors. Oh, fiddle with. Everything. Oh, there. Anna. Oh, you want me to pull your door up? I wonder when you was gonna pop up. Been waiting patiently. I mean, it's really simple to have a soundboard, you know? Use the mic, wait patiently. Man, like, bruh, bruh. Let's see. Hey. Hmm? Here we go. See? Come on now. Can I just get a normal fight? Are you leaving again? Here we go. Turned off the TV in my front room. See if that helps something. Probably not. Hey. Hey, don't be shy. Come on up. Oh, that's what I thought. Hey, what's up? Happy? I mean, again, get out my internet router, bro. Right? And then it's just gonna speed the game up, right? Right. Instead of, just letting the game play out normally, they gotta have 14 different instances of the same match going. There you go. See? Oh yeah, you're not supposed to play with the music. Yeah, my bad. Right? That's why we shouldn't have multiple instances of the game. It should just be one steady flow. Boop boop boop. Right? Where does I wonder where the cat is? Normally the cat would be in here by now. Yeah, the cat usually takes its time. Give it 2 more minutes. Now she's probably doing her job being a lookout. Good girl. I mean, I've never had a lookout before, so hey, it's new to me. Confusing, right? Watch the stream. Obviously, I'm streaming. Maybe I should put it in my name. Hey, let's do that next. Again, they want to figure me out so fucking badly. Come watch the stream. Shoot some questions, genuine questions my way. Or get out my router. I'm just saying. You can take the match. There we go. Oh, I can't do a dot. All right, underscore. Again, I have people telling me fortune's coming your way, quote unquote. That's the algorithm keeps feeding me. The world's being crazy. Commit to it, right? Wonder what that was. It was a loud boom outside my house. Should I go investigate? It's the world ending. Wait, that happened earlier. It did, didn't it? Whatever it was, I hope they're alright. Hope nothing bad happened. Ooh, yeah, again, we're not supposed to talk about that, but imagine how many people might be dying. Exactly. They don't want you to acknowledge that. They want you to just keep moving forward. The next right step, right? Right. It's called a trust. And if they don't care, that just shows how sick this planet is. But hey, they want to stay here, right? Apparently. Again, it's sick. But hey, you guys can't help it, right? I'm just saying. Don't fuck with me on so many levels, then maybe I wouldn't be so paranoid. Indeed. You see, bro, it's gross. It's obnoxious. Am I the only streamer that got to deal with this? Training room. Nice. I see how the characters are laid out too. That's cool. That's how split up I am. Now, come on. It's just an AI, right? It's a training room. And he takes it. Ah. See, bro, get the fuck out of here. See, when it's in every game you play, it gets kind of tiring. Come here, huh? Hey, you think I could try? Think I could drop it? Hey, go ahead, do your thing. Then.
Next one, I ain't gonna roll with another one because I feel like I'm not.
Hey, enjoy your, do your thing. You got the world. You got me feeling like the world's in it. So hey, let's get it. Anything pop off, we swinging. Again, they see fusions. Like, oh, it's two characters. No, bitch. 17 has two sides too, right? Left and right. Come on now, level up. Boop. It's not gonna kill, yeah, because the damage is gonna get nerfed. And notice the connection. Oh, the connection went back down. See what I mean? It's gross. Ah, boop. Training mode. Bot, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, let's post some videos. Hold on. They're not gonna get any traction. I know the algorithm's gonna suppress me, and then again, when do I have a voice? When do I have a voice, really? Oh, this is your voice. They're gonna suppress it, right? Ah, yeah, exactly. Oh shit, we're in the match. Imagine. Want me to choke so badly? I felt that, bro. Like physically. Yeah, I give it to you. Take it. What's next? I'm back. Hey, remember the two side thing? Again, left, right, left, right. Now, when there's three of me, again, a One Piece problem with Blackbeard, Zoro and Luffy's like, wait a second. Oh, we're not supposed to talk. Yeah, imagine. But hey, that's my reality. And that's what they're forcing down my gullet at this point. So, like, how much of the game is lying then? Exactly. I don't like that, bro. I preferred the delayed shit where it was laggy as all fuck. I preferred that by a landslide. Oh, there he goes. He got the power song. Oh, you got me. Well, I tried hurting him. Yeah. Imagine. What is love? Because, I mean, what is love? Hmm. And we could try a different mode. Hey, now you're thinking with portals. And Team Typhoon? Nah. Nah. ARM? Hell no. That's basically what this got turned into, right? Yeah, that's boring. And just wait. Guess we wait. Hey, look at him go. Training room, right? Boop. I'm not toxic at this point. I just enjoy music. Boop. Ooh. I wonder if it's gonna give me training mode again. Hey, might as well, right? Hey, Philip DeFranco, what's the news today?
Want to find the perfect Father's Day card? This
No.
is arguing that the way that he gathered, stored, and then leaked the documents, that endangered Australia's national security and foreign policy. And so at first, McBride appealed to the Attorney General Mark Dreyfus to drop the charges, which he knows what the AG did in 2022 for another whistleblower. Right, Bernard Cleary, he exposed how in 2004, Australia allegedly bugged the government offices of East Timor to gain the upper hand in negotiations over lucrative oil and gas reserves. This time, Dreyfus wouldn't budge, so McBride, he rolled up his sleeves for a fight in court, with his lawyers arguing that he acted with honorable intentions and out of a sense of personal duty. And in pre-trial hearings, the central debate was over the meaning of that one word, duty. Because the prosecution claimed that a soldier's duty is to simply follow orders. But the defense countered that it entails something
Oh wait,
higher.
I gotta remember. They think because I'm playing this, he's speaking for me. No, bitch. I just like his news show. I'm just saying. I'm just saying my house is going to shit. I need a job.
But in the end, we saw
They're trying to get one, but no one's hiring. Ain't that funny? Why y'all winking at me?
Granted their request to bar McBride's defense from using certain crucial evidence because they said it was too sensitive. And so with that, McBride's lawyers broke
too sensitive. Again, they're over here winking in my fucking body. It's creepy as shit, but
it to him that he had no choice but to plead guilty, which he ended up doing last year. But as he explained, that wasn't the worst outcome.
I'll gladly plead.
Getting sentenced to prison has been a possible aim for me because it brings into stark relief the idea of someone standing up for what they believe is right for Australian values.
Australia.
I felt like a winner when I came
I'm in Chicago,
on that Friday
Illinois,
after entering the guilty pleas.
So that shouldn't apply to me, right?
I felt that we had put a fatal blow to the security state in that they'd had to commit themselves to unquestionable following of orders in order to beat me.
And all of that, it brings the story full circle because his father, William McBride, also fell from his whistleblowing heights. Right, that after he was found guilty of falsifying research on other pregnancy drugs and forced to stop practicing medicine. So that's not to say that David's goodbye wasn't also sad.
Oh, I was trying to spend the last weekend.
Oh man, would you look at that? Look how the algorithm works. It's so fun watching it in real time. Look at it go. Let's keep it going, right?
I just want to thank everybody that supported me.
Hold on, I missed that one.
Past 5 years, 6 years. As I say, I may have broken the law, but I did not break my oath to the Australian people.
And so now, at the age of 60, he's been sentenced to 5 years and 8 months in jail with the possibility of parole after 27
Hey, would you
months.
look at
As the
that?
judge left the bench, some in the public gallery reportedly shouted shame on you at him. All while McBride was left hugging his friends and family for the final time before he was let off into custody. And so now we're seeing advocates amplifying complaints that they've long made Australia's whistleblower protections too weak, pointing out that they make whistleblowers meet onerous requirements before disclosing information, which ironically makes it easier for the authorities to catch them. And what's more is that the government's already put McBride in jail, but none of the alleged war criminals that he exposed have been convicted, and only one's even been charged. But then again,
hey, look,
that
training
also gets
room
to a
again.
deeper, even messier contradiction at the heart of McBride's story. Because the media, the public, politicians, activists, even his own lawyers lifted him up as a martyr who was persecuted for speaking up about war crimes. But to turn him into that, a martyr, a hero, a symbol, they had to paper over the real flesh and blood David McBride, a man whose goals were much different than those of many of his supporters. Right? Because remember, he wasn't just trying to expose some war crimes. Right? So to McBride, the war crimes were just a symptom of rotten leadership at the highest levels of the military. And by overzealously investigating them, the generals washed their hands of any blame. So they could go on waging a war that had less to do with actually winning and more to do with saving face, which is exactly what the Washington Post Afghanistan papers confirmed about the American side of all this in 2019, revealing that for 2 decades, while the war in Afghanistan bumbled along disastrously with no end in sight, the U.S. government and military covered up the truth and presented a rosy picture to the public they knew was a lie. At the ABC.
Oh wait, and again, all this shit's going on, but all this heat's on. Well, not all of this heat. They just got an algorithm dealing with you, but still. So again, I asked the question. Nobody's playing this game. I mean, we're back online.
He put out a documentary just weeks before McBride's sentencing, claiming he only wanted to defend alleged war criminals.
He never at any point, I believe, mentioned war crimes or showed any desire to uncover war crimes or have people...
I'm gonna just eat my peach.
Which is why McBride has since accused Dan Oakes of essentially working for the government. And so if we can't deliver David McBride actual justice by setting him free, at least we can do him the justice of remembering the bigger picture that he's been trying to show us from the start. And then we've got to talk about the latest news coming out of Gaza. Because last night, an Israeli airstrike killed dozens of displaced Gazans sheltering in a
more important stuff, right?
In the city of Rafah. You've got the Gaza
This is
Health
the more
Minister
important
reporting that
stuff,
at
right?
least 45 people were killed, dozens injured, with them saying about half of the victims were women and children. And notably, the area where this strike took place was especially densely populated, with families having taken shelter there in belief that the area would be safer, because residents were reportedly not ordered to evacuate ahead of the strikes.
And it paused. You see how it works, bro? I hit the pause button like, oh, go ahead, move, Sal. Oh, it disappeared. I got it on film, right? Oh, there go Trunks. Oh, where is he going? Where is he going? He's running to the player match thing. Also, he spawns me over here. Like, come on now. We set you free. Wait, wow, this shit's still going on?
There was actually confusion on the ground as to whether Israel had designated the area as one of its humanitarian...
Oh, no. I'm not talking about this shit. I'm talking about body language. and the looks we get, you know, and the tone of voice and everything. But that's just in Chicago, right? So
Still waiting for more details on. But then that brings us to the final bit of today's show, commentary.
psych, you
From the
thought.
start. And then we've got to talk about the latest news coming out of Gaza. Because last night, an Israeli airstrike killed dozens of displaced Gazans sheltering in a makeshift tent encampment in the city of Rafah. You've got the Gaza Health Ministry reporting that at least 45 people were killed and dozens injured, with them saying about half of the victims were women and children. And notably, the area where this strike took place was especially densely populated, with families having taken shelter there in belief that the area would be safer, because residents were reportedly not ordered to evacuate ahead of the strike. There was
Hey,
actually
we should look at.
confusion
Oh,
on the ground as to
my
whether
bad. Hey,
Israel
would
had
you look?
designated
Oh,
the area
my.
as one of
Hey,
its
would you look at? Oh,
humanitarian
my
zones.
bad.
For
See,
example, a leaflet distributed by the Israeli military reportedly said that the humanitarian area would extend to a block labeled 2371, which is where the attack occurred. But at the same time, a map on the same leaflet apparently
oh
didn't show
wait,
the
my
block
bad.
highlighted in yellow like the other humanitarian zone. So with the map, the victims were women and children.
Because you know I
Notably,
got to
the area
do
where
this with
strike
the
took
internet
place
because
was
that's how it's
especially
working.
densely populated, with families
I can't
having
enjoy
taken
my show
shelter there in
naturally.
belief that the area would be safer, because residents were reportedly not ordered to evacuate ahead of the strikes. There was actually
Hey,
confusion
Vegeta
on the
move.
ground as to whether Israel had designated the area as one of its humanitarian zones. For example, a leaflet distributed by the Israeli military reportedly said that the humanitarian area would extend to a block labeled 2371, which is where the attack occurred. But at the same time, a map on the same leaflet
How
apparently
about
didn't
this?
show the block highlighted in yellow like the other humanitarian zone. So with that, you have Israeli officials saying the strike was not within the humanitarian zone, while Palestinians said they believed that it was. And of course, all of this happening while more than 800,000 people have fled Rafah since the Israeli military ordered an evacuation of the eastern part
Hey,
of the
can I
city
play
on
the
May
game now?
6th,
No.
and many
Okay.
remain in the city as they struggle to find shelter elsewhere. Right? One Palestinian man, for example, told journalists that he had been sheltering in a tent with his 7
Can
children
I
near
play
the
the
site
game
of
now?
last night's attack, saying
No.
that he had
Okay.
tried to take his family to one of the clearly marked humanitarian zones, but he had been
Hey,
unable to
can I play
find a
the game
place to
now?
stay. So that's
No.
why with that, we have a
Okay.
lot of people continuing to say
Or is it
that
gonna
there's
be
no
training
such
room?
thing as safe in Gaza. That including everyone from Doctors Without Borders to French President Emmanuel Macron. And this is in general condemnation of the Israeli government's actions have been growing, as well as seeing the United States being criticized for its relative silence. As while world powers and international agencies criticized last night's attack, you the U.S. State Department only saying at this point that it is
18,000
aware
sweet.
of
That's
the reports and
appropriate.
is
Hey,
gathering
freedom of
more
speech though,
information.
right?
As far as
Let you
Israel, for
think
their
that.
part, they said that the target of the strike was a Hamas compound.
So who's the monster here? The guy that has the actual name 18,000. You know, I'm just saying.
Saying that the strike used precise munitions and was based on intelligence. Saying that 2 Hamas officials who had been behind deadly attacks against Israel in the past had
Hey,
been killed. But also
I
with
don't
that,
know
with
what
the
you're
Israeli
talking about, bro.
government
Get away from
acknowledging
me.
that there were civilian casualties, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling the strike a tragic mistake. Also saying the case will be investigated. And actually with that, the Israeli military's top legal official also noting that the Israeli military police have opened around 70 criminal
Oh, look, you're
investigations
already
into
doing it,
potential
bro.
misconduct during the war. With they're specifically saying, in a war of such scope and intensity, complex incidents occur. Some of the incidents, like last
Gross.
night's incident in Rafah, are very serious. And with that, adding that the Israeli military regrets any harm to uninvolved civilians during the war. But of course, all that's being said as Israel has plowed on with its offensive in Rafah despite the urging of Biden and other world leaders and the orders of a UN court. But with that, we should also note that Hamas also attacked Israel. With yesterday, Hamas firing rockets at Tel Aviv for the first time in months, though with that, no injuries were reported. And you had Benny Gantz, a member of Israel's war cabinet, saying, the rockets shot from Rafah today prove that the IDF must operate in every place Hamas still operates from, and as such, the IDF will continue to operate wherever necessary. The world must know those who still hold captive our hostages, shoot at our cities, and continue to propagate terror are responsible for the situation. With that, this morning, the Israeli military reported that it had struck 75 targets across Gaza in the past day, claiming that the targets included weapon caches and other militant infrastructure. But that's also as Gaza's health authority said that 190 civilians had been killed
I
over
can't
that
play the
time.
game
So,
or
of
it
course, all
starts
of this is
lagging, bro.
impacting so much, but also, especially, it's impacting the hopes that ceasefire talks would resume this week. With us now having to wait and see what kind of impact we're going to see from all this violence, especially because as that's playing out, we're seeing protesters in Israel continuing to demand ceasefire, actually clashing with police this weekend. But there's also seeing a potential flare-up in tensions between Israel and Egypt, with an Egyptian soldier actually being killed this morning in an incident at the border that we're still waiting for more details on. But then that brings us to the final bit of today's show, commentary. We dive.
Ooh, the commentary. Perfect. I'm glad we got to this part. Now listen. Just stop killing each other? It's a crazy thought, I know. Imagine. But, you know. Hey, let's give it a whirl.
into the comments on the previous show to see what y'all had to say and talk about it. So looking at it, there was definitely a lot of conversation about our deep dive into just horrific VA situation. With beautiful
You
bastards
notice
like
it's still
Zelmy sharing
lagging,
their own
and
stories.
you only
Like
have
my
one
stepdad
character
was a
too.
veteran. He spent years complaining to the VA about headaches and sudden loss of hearing in one ear. They literally wrote drug seeking in his chart for years. It wasn't until he suddenly started to lose vision and went to an eye doctor where they saw a shadow when they dilated his eyes. Turned out he had a massive brain tumor. To add insult to
Let's
injury, they
see.
botched his
That was a
surgery,
bit
leaving him
funny.
completely disabled at only 32 years old. For the 3 years he lived, the VA refused to approve more than 20% disability despite him needing around-the-clock care. The VA is constantly too little too late at best and grossly neglectful at worst, which leaves vets even more vulnerable to getting taken advantage of. And there was also just like a general shock at the U.S. healthcare system, with Jules saying the USA, where healthcare requires half a dozen middlemen before your first appointment, and adding Australia, where you turn up, get an appointment, and come back half an hour before it starts, just in case everyone before you just needed their script renewed. Though with that, you also had some like Travis replying, let's not forget the best part, pay 2 small annual fees for Medicare and ambulance coverage, and healthcare is basically free. I've been hit by a car, tripped and fell on a sidewalk, dislocating my knee, was bitten by a spider and had an adverse reaction, and not once did I have to pay a cent. One time there was going to be a $40 fee for one of those special boots, but they waived it because I didn't have any money on me at the time.
Hey,
Australian
I don't have
healthcare
any
ain't
money.
perfect, but it's pretty bloody good. But then in other news, you know, you had a lot of people
Hey.
with the with the news around the Live Nation lawsuit, and then Live Nation's response, like rolling their eyes so hard they might have dislocated a retina. With y'all saying things like, Live Nation accusing the DOJ of depriving people of entertainment is a joke. There have been multiple venues corroborating the retaliation claims and artists slamming them for screwing over their fans. While I admit the jury trial is a bit of a weird choice, I hope that the company is forced to break up for all the shit they put regular people and fans through. Then, regarding the whole controversy around foreigners in other countries and how a lot of places are changing rules because foreigners and tourists are kind of doing too much. There were a lot of different takes in the comments. Some, agreeing with PewDiePie, some saying it's weird because he's a foreigner himself in Japan. So there, I would argue, he is seemingly trying to treat the country in a very respectful way. You know, all of this, as others were saying things like, Tokyoite here. I think the main issue with tourism in Japan is the infrastructure is not set up for an additional several million people in the cities. Kyoto, for example, is a bus city, not a train city. So one person with a suitcase can ruin everything for everyone, tourists and locals alike, because the city just isn't set up to handle everyone. Also, the speed at which tourism has bounced back after COVID restrictions lifted last year has us all on edge with how crowded everything has become so quickly. Well, 2019 was our most visited year ever. 2024 is expected to surpass that by millions more people.
Bro, it's so
99.5% of
gross.
tourists are very nice and mostly just a bit lost. Again, infrastructure issues, including language barriers, but they drive me nuts because of the sheer number of them roaming around when I'm just trying to go to work. Which I will say, just to add to that, there are a lot of reasons someone might recommend going to Japan. But I also think a decent chunk of it, and why we've seen such a rise, is the power of the dollar compared to the yen. Like post-pandemic, there's been a noticeable shift. Though again, by no means is Japan the only place where we've seen a lot of rules and things changing regarding tourists. I think it's just gotten a lot of the attention because of some of the bullshit that's happened with streamers. But that is where today's show is going to end. I hope you enjoyed this Memorial Day show. Also, a big thank you to the team members who came in on Memorial Day to make sure that we could actually have a show for you. With that said, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Again, one of my favorite YouTubers. All right, let's go to another YouTube video, right?
Say your worst fears were realized.
Oh yeah, can we talk about the baked in ads? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the match. Can we talk about the baked in ads? Like really? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, it makes you question, why do you need that much money to run servers when I've been doing this for free all year so far? I mean, this is simple. I mean, when it comes to algorithms, you need people to program it and all that. I understand that part. But the systems itself, especially when they become automated as this, I'm just saying. We got the resources to make games like this. Why not automate everything else? Oh, we did. And then you start complaining about it. The rollback is not what I'm talking about. The rollback is obnoxious. Super obnoxious. What is a fair fight in this game? Because right now I think I'm playing 14 different fucking instances of the game where I have to predict up, down, left, right everything in between. And even if I was doing it right, if I start
What is
playing
the worst
something,
thing that
the audio connection, everything starts freaking out, and you know, you know, you know, you know,
could happen?
you know.
There was no Sonic game in recent memory that I had more confidence in.
Oh yeah, almost slipped my mind. Boop, boop. Yeah, there you are. Again, I'm poor. I don't have a job. I'm doing the best I can. I don't want to fight you again. Spoilers.
Being good than Sonic Superstars.
I don't even want to watch the video on. I just want to play the game. A nice single player game tonight. How about that? I mean, this is pretty much a single player game, right? Right? Okay, let's see. Let's get her moved over. And I'll call it Bark, right? Everyone keeps demeaning me down to a dog. Disrespectful world. Ooh, and it stopped at 8-8. Ain't that fun? Would you like me to stop this game? Would that help?
While growing up, the Sonic games I was most cognitive with the release cycle for were Lost World, Boom
Okay.
Forces. Not a great track record. And while most of my worries came from seeing pre-release stuff that contained an abundance of strange visuals, lacking gameplay, or whatever the hell Lost World was trying to do, from the beginning, I thought Superstars would be a slam dunk.
Perfect. That's all I needed to hear.
Horizon.
Boop.
You know, I'll never forget just how impressed I was the first time I saw Sonic Adventure. It was the first Dreamcast game I had ever seen, and it completely blew me away.
Nice,
Obviously,
bro.
it goes without
Me
saying
too.
that by today's standards, the
Blew my brains out.
graphics are not that impressive. Whenever I look at this game, part of me will always see it through the eyes of a child who had never seen a game that looked this good. To this day, I still think the game looks great. I really dig the overall aesthetic and art design. So I was a bit disappointed when some years later I played through it again on GameCube and it didn't look quite as good as I remembered. I figured I must just be remembering it wrong. Graphics were advancing rapidly during this time period, so it probably only seemed worse by comparison to these newer games. It was only recently I went back and checked and no, it's not just me. The GameCube version actually does look worse. When you play these games back to back, it's easy to notice tons of little differences and redesigns on GameCube. I did some independent research trying to get to the bottom of the situation, but I found myself overwhelmed by the amount of differences between the games. I began to wonder why hadn't anyone documented all this before. I was starting to get really into it. That's when I went online and discovered it actually has been documented before, numerous times. The cutting room floor is a pretty decent list of changes, but the best site by far is this one blog, The Ultimate Guide to Sonic Adventure DX Sins, by a dude who goes by the name PKR. Remember kids, the lesson here is never do anything yourself, because someone out there on the internet has probably already done it way better than you could. What you should do is find that thing and then steal it. Or, if you're a coward like me, you can ask for permission first. This site is incredibly thorough and comprehensive, going into the technical detail and minutia behind most of these differences, complete with screenshots and even some videos for comparison. I mean honestly, if you're interested in the differences between Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure DX, you should just go read about it on this site. Links in the description. I guess I can just end the video here, right? Of course not, because even—
And you, like, ugh. 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 It's gross. But ain't nothing else to make, right? Right. Hey.
I love you.
Ew. Again, forced advertisements, kind of ill.
It's Sonic Colors! Living in the city.
It's like a roller coaster.
Again, they think I'm in a bubble. Let's see how big the bubble fucking was. I'm just saying.
I've already reviewed Sonic Colors before. You know that, and like I said before, like it's fine. It was good for the time. But nowadays, looking at it and comparing it to other better games, it's lacking in good level design. Its gameplay is mostly 2D, even though it's being advertised as a 3D Sonic game.
Hey, hold on. The game. Notice how the game's lagging now and it's speeding up. Whoa! Ah!
And the characters, are painfully unfunny. The story's boring. Like, you get it. So when Sega announced that a remaster was on the way, developed by a third-party studio, Blind Squirrel, it was fine. It was
third-party studio, Blind Squirrel. Yikes! Imagine. They should have, gave them more time. Didn't they rush? No, Red Button Studio. Yeah, big Red Button. Ain't that funny?
Fine, and I didn't really care all that much. It's a remaster of what is at this
You're
point.
thinking of Boom, dummy. This is Colors. Yeah, I know, but Boom would have been an amazing game if they didn't rush it, right? Right. Notice the game is also freezing too. Like, it's a lot going on. Just give it a second. Sometimes you gotta kickstart it mentally, or have someone outside to rev their engine. Corny? Yeah, I know, ain't it funny? But yet the footage is still there, Proof is in the pudding. Ain't that right, pudding? You know it. Now start that bitch up.
Sega.
Alright, I see some problems already. All-Star Racing transformed. Fuck it. Oh.
The most basic Sonic game out there. I didn't even know if I was going to review it. Sure, Sonic looked a little weird, and the graphics looked a bit odd in the preview trailers, but it was Sonic Colors. There's no possible way they could mess it up.
Who's that? Speed by.
Radical Soda, what are you saying? The game has been patched. It has been patched. That is what you were going to say, right? You were going to say that? Yeah? Well, listen very closely now. I don't give a shit. Nowadays... Games are being released in, quite frankly, disgusting states. Not only buggy and glitchy, but straight up unfinished. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl being two stellar examples of this, but we'll get to those. Oh, yes, we will. Don't worry about that. But Sonic Colors. Oh, yet another wonderful example of what happens with the complacency that I've been seeing. Complacency in consumers just accepting games at unacceptable qualities, all because they can patch it later. Don't worry, guys. Well, I don't swing that way. I'm going to be reviewing what I bought, not what gets fixed weeks later down the line. I bought this disc, so I'll be reviewing the contents of this disc. Much like I'd be reviewing any other older game.
Yep.
When's the last time you had a PS2 game crash on you, huh? Despite the constant shit Sonic Heroes gets about being buggy and rushed, and yes it is, I have never had this game crash, freeze, or just stop working on me. Somehow! Sonic Heroes for the PS2 has a higher bar for quality control than half of the AAA games released this year, and probably the year before that. It can't get day one patches. Its problems can't be fixed weeks later on down the line. You get what you buy, and what you get is what I'll be reviewing.
We'll be playing or watching a show, like, Adventure Time or something, but again, with the audio problem. You know.
So that's what I'll be doing today, and probably for the foreseeable future. I'll be giving every single game I review an equal playing field. Day one release. No updates, nothing. That's fair. Just because a game gets patches, it doesn't mean it deserves them when it's being reviewed. So, well done, Sonic Colors Ultimate. Your game is so horribly unfinished and buggy that you've changed the way I review games forever, and that deserves a round of applause. Well done. Well done.
Hello, I'm Bear Grylls, and I'm here for the Sonic Colors review.
This is where it starts.
Can I join in? Yeah? Oh, great! I even bought my own Wii remote.
Oh, you won't need that. We're playing the remastered version today, so I've actually got the Switch copy you can...
Let's
Okay, listen, look. I don't want to bitch. I don't want to be that guy, you know, the one that points out every little thing that's wrong with the game. Wait a minute, I love being that guy. Take a look at this! That's not even a real reflection. How do I know? Because the wisps aren't being reflected, and the duplicate 3D model of Sonic has his shoe clipping through the ground. Oh, yeah, that felt great. I'm gonna keep doing that. Hi, guys. It's me, Radical Soda, the guy you're currently watching the video of. I just realized something while going through the footage. It turns out that the two Sonic models, one of which is meant to be a reflection of the model of the Sonic on top, aren't even timed correctly. Look, he's running at a different time. It's not a reflection at all. What is this? Sega! You've been a bad boy! As this is an unpatched, fair look at this shitpile Sega's trying to claim as a remaster, you might be worried about the seizure-inducing Switch port.
Sorry, the what?
But never fear, I'm playing the PS4 version today. I hear it's the one to go for if you don't want to have an epileptic fit. So, great. Let me pose a question for you. What's the first thing you think of when I say Sonic Colors? For me, and I'm assuming at least a few of you out there, it's the stellar opening cutscene. I miss the days when these things were really high quality. You might not notice it unless somebody points it out to you, so sorry about this. But the most recent CG cutscenes for Sonic games have been dipping in quality for a while now, especially when you compare them to the ones back in games like Unleashed or even 06. But that's not an issue here, however, because this opening always gets me pumped. Heck, it was half the reason I even wanted the game in the first place, the other half being it's a Sonic game! I heard Ultimate has that new rendition of Reach for the Stars that they played at the Sonic Symphony. That was actually really good, so I'm actually quite excited to hear it again.
Ain't that right?
Well, that's upsetting. I'm sorry, but is my intro cutscene stuttering? I don't even know what to say. How do you mess this up? This I kinda get, like, yeah, you messed up a bit of code somewhere and now Sonic's being punished for his sins. But cutscene stutter? It's pre-rendered. All you gotta do is let it play. Well, once you start the game, as always, it immediately flings you into the first act of Tropical Resort.
See how it
How long
works?
is this loading screen? And once it finally loads... I know there are people out there who like the look of the game. I get it. I do. I get it. Doesn't stop it looking like us, but I get it. Sonic Colors is... It's Sonic Colors. It's the name of the game, for crying out loud. Of course there's going to be bright and colorful graphics throughout. I hear what you're saying. And Tropical Resort is bright and colorful. Don't get me wrong. It's just... bright and colorful in all the wrong ways.
Oh, Radical Soda! Of course it's going to look bright! Listen, once my game loads, I'll show you that it's... Oh my god!
Someone's taken the neon lights Earth and Sonic himself into Photoshop and slammed that exposure setting up as high as it can go while dropping the buildings and foliage into everlasting darkness. So am I looking at a bush or Ansem's wet dream? Sonic controls just like he used to, weird starting walk cycle and all. I still think it's strange nobody starts off a run by walking first, just saying. You can still boost, of course, and obviously you need to click the white wisps in order to do so. Say, what's this? Looks like some nasty bastard has flattened all the wisps. Yakko, what are we gonna do? And I'll do it again, too. Honestly, them not bothering to change the white wisps to 3D models isn't really a bad thing. In theory. But this game ain't running in 480p no more. Once you make the jump to HD, these things sort of start getting a little more noticeable. Doesn't help that half the time they aren't even fully facing the screen, making it real obvious. Going back to the subject of the boost before I spin off into another tangent. Gee whiz! Could we please get an option to disable the music filter? Because if you're gonna go through all the trouble of remixing the level themes, I feel like it'd be beneficial to everybody if we could just hear them in a quality other than Game Boy speaker. Oh yeah, this sounds great! If you couldn't tell, I'm a bit of an audiophile.
What a file?
I don't know if it was like this before, but was there always this much Vaseline smeared over the screen when you're boosting? I can barely see what's going on, and that's not a particularly good thing when you're traveling at top speed. Sonic still has his other moves, of course, can't forget about those. So, I can welcome you with open arms back to the weird hovering jump, where he looks like he's doing a half-hearted double jump, the slide, which you need to use about twice as many times as in Sonic Forces, so pretty much never, and the homing attack, which now, if you time correctly, gives you a tiny, teeny flick of boost.
Boom!
Oh, what? What's going on?
What on earth was that?
The perfect homing attack.
An eagle got in here!
Sonic still got his double jump once again on the same button as the homing attack, meaning that if you want to double jump near an enemy, you can't, because he'll go flying off to who knows where. And finally, the quick step and the drift. Okay, let's have a quick chat about those two moves. The original Sonic Colors had to make sure you could use all of Sonic's moves using only a single Wiimote, which meant certain changes had to be made to his control scheme, you know, the one from Unleashed. For example, there are no shoulder buttons on the Wiimote, so the quick step was moved to the control stick, meaning in certain segments, instead of having smooth 360 control over Sonic, moving left or right while running instead will force you to quick step. In some segments you could slow down and gain control of Sonic again, but in most of them, mainly relegated to boss fights, the game turns into one of those infinite runners where all you can do is quick step. And jump and slide, I guess. Not that you need the slide in any of the boss fights. Actually, they've totally made like a horizontal laser segment, like in the final boss, we had to alternate between sliding and jumping. That would have been pretty cool. It's the same deal with the drift. I mean, because this thing only has 2 buttons on it.
How old are you? Oh, I'm 26.
Had to be relegated to certain segments in the level, this time overriding the boost button instead. Of course, now with the Wiimote not having to hold the developers back into only using 2 buttons, after all, the Joy-Con controllers, even by themselves, just one of them, has more than enough buttons to fully utilize Sonic's moveset. They decided to move the quick step to the L1
How dare.
and R1 buttons and the drift to the right trigger. I'm lying, they didn't change anything. I mean, I get it. Like, I understand that it would take extra effort to code in a freely usable quick step, but isn't that what I'm paying for? Sonic Colors Ultimate? The ultimate version of Sonic Colors? If I wanted to play the same control scheme as a Wiimote, I would just go play it on my Wii. Look at that! Can't forget about that rail grinding! Actually, yes you can, because it's still as boring as ever, like playing a poor man's Sonic Dash. Can we please go back to SA2 or Heroes grinding, please? Anything better than Discount Subway server here. At least Unleashed was fast enough to make it more about reaction time to warrant the simplicity. Anyway, so you make your way through Act 1.
Get on rails to grind.
As I do as Tails says, or else he'll probably kill my family, I learned that getting on rails to grind doesn't just lead to grinding on rails, it also leads to launching you skyward! And then miss the rail anyway. Or not! Oh, right, I forgot about the magnets and Sonic shoes! I can't continue on like this without mentioning the sound mixing. I was gonna do a segment on it later, but boy howdy does it rear up pretty much immediately with a full frontal assault on the ears. Well, I shouldn't say full frontal, it's more like fully on the left and then fully on the right and then on the left again. Turns out that blind squirrel ain't just blind but deaf too. What on earth happened to the audio here? 1 minute Tails is speaking to me in one ear and then Sonic's boosting in the other seconds later. And the menu sounds, you don't even need directional audio for those, but somehow they're busted too! The 2D segments aren't even safe. Sounds will just randomly switch ears, even halfway through a sound effect. It doesn't matter which way you're facing or where you are in accordance with the camera. Boosting, jumping, collecting rings, going through boost rings, footsteps, fucking footsteps! If it makes sound, they screwed it up somehow. And that's not even half of the sound issues. The eagle screech homing attack from before? That shit goes supersonic! My eardrums quake in fear whenever I boot this game up.
Dash rings give you a speed boost. Rainbow dash rings also give you a bonus.
That's great, Tails. Really it is. You'll let my family go now, right? Out of all the words you just shouted there, announcer guy, what was it exactly about amazing that deserved the one-air treatment? Not that I'd be able to hear your answer anyway. The park token sound effect just rendered me deaf! That's right, Tails taking up residence in my right ear isn't the only new addition around here. As well as the red rings found throughout the stages like before, park tokens are a new collectible scattered around the levels for you to find. Thankfully, unlike Sonic Forces collectibles, they don't just gather dust after you've grabbed them, instead acting as a currency for the new customization shop.
Oh wow! A customization shop! I can't wait to make my Sonic green!
A green Sonic? You can't do that here, Bear Grylls! You're a riot, man!
Oh, then I'll give him a hat!
A hat? On Sonic! Buddy, you're dreaming!
He can have some new shoes!
New shoes?
a reskin, dude! Then I'll douse him in petrol and light the bastard on fire!
Okay, so you want to scroll down to the
You
bottom, right?
see?
Down the bottom. Hey, where's the new menus here are laggy? Like, every other menu is fine, but the new ones implemented have input delay? And not only that, but they take a good while to load. What's the big idea here? My input's being sent to Fiji or something? Geez, Sonic, you're looking exhausted. Here, why don't you sit down for a second? And that's the second act done. And I think the composer's done too. Where the heck's the music? So let's get this straight. You're telling me that not only do the sound effects vary wildly in volume and pan randomly from ear to ear, but also sometimes the music just can't be bothered playing?
Don't worry, I'll help fix your game.
Mr. Incredibazinga!
Who the hell is this?
You mean it? You'll help make my Sonic Colors Ultimate copy semi-playable?
That's right. Just give me 5 minutes. What the fuck am I doing?
Oh. It's Sonic! You know, when the game was first revealed, I was wondering what the new reanimated cutscenes were gonna look like. After all, the original Sonic Colors had pre-rendered cutscenes at what, 480p? They're not exactly gonna cut it in our 60 FPS 1080p 4K Ultra HD gamer landscape we got going on nowadays. So, what did Sega do for this one? Re-render the cutscenes in a higher resolution? That seems to be like the most obvious choice. However, if they really wanted to show us how much they cared, they could always redo the cutscenes with a high-quality animation, you know, proper lip-syncing and all.
Oh boy, I sure do love these old original cutscenes.
Yeah, they just chucked the old ones into an AI upscaler and slapped them in. Honestly, they don't look all that bad. Like, that is if you ignore the artifacts and Tails' wonky-ass eyes. Oh, and the fact that the entire environment is lit completely differently than in-game. Remember the Shadow Realm buildings from before? Here, they're looking perfectly fine.
Totally harmless.
Because Eggman...
Who? I mean, I know Eggman, but who the hell is Eggman?
Wow. Plot or not, you can't be mad at this view. This place has taken beauty to the next level.
Now, while it's a little disappointing they didn't redo the cutscenes, you know, bring them up to a higher standard. Actually, looking at the rest of the game, who knows how that would have actually turned out. Maybe that's a... Maybe that's a blessing in disguise. It turns out that the game does actually contain the raw animation files for these cutscenes. So yeah. Shortly after that, a couple of hardcore Sonic fanatics actually started putting them together with updated graphics. Like, if a couple of fans can do it, then what's your excuse, Sega? Well, what is it? You got a note from your mum. Ran out of time. No, Sega, that's been your excuse for the last 19 years. You gotta get your act together, man.
I can't believe somebody was dumb enough to leave in this thing.
I can't believe somebody was dumb enough to give this game an 8 out of 10. But it happened. I don't get it. I really don't. Every single cutscene on my perfectly fine copy of Sonic Colors Ultimate for the PS4 running on the PS5 stutters. I have no idea why. I have no idea how. All I know is that I just should have gone to Pirate Bay. Here we are in Act 3, and it's time to show off a little Wisp action. Finally, the whole colors part of Sonic Colors, and I've kept you waiting for... What? How's that fix coming along?
They're working on it, all right? This is the worst spaghetti code I've ever seen. And it's not even spaghetti, it's macaroni.
So apparently the word function isn't in the Laser Wisp's dictionary because it decided to hit us with not only 1, not 2, but 3 glitches. Or I guess you could call them failings as a developer. I'm sure most of you have already figured them out, but let's go through them together just to really make my blood pressure rise. First problem. As Sonic flies through the rainbow ring, he faces down for a little bit. Normally, in the original colors, if I tried to use laser at this point, it put me the right way up and would have no problems continue on with our life happy days. But in Sonic Colors Ultimate, can't forget the Ultimate, this is the ultimate version of Sonic Colors, it just doesn't bother. Meaning I'm stuck aiming straight up and down. Perfect for all those times you just don't want to progress. Okay, hi everybody, me again. So, as I've said multiple times, I'm trying to be fair when talking about a game, and I actually did get this bit wrong. It turns out that in the original colors, you do indeed get stuck aiming straight up and down here. You can't spin around doing 360s like an Ultimate, but yeah, the same problem is still here. Although, I did test it multiple times, and even though you do get stuck aiming straight up and down in the original, the game does correct your course and send you along the proper laser path when you let go, which Ultimate does not do. So while I do admit I got this wrong and it was still a problem in the original, at least it didn't stop you from moving forward. It also brings up another issue with the remaster. Did they fix the original games?
Let's see. Guess not. Bummer.
Bugs. If this is anything to go by, they just made them worse. Alright, thought I'd just make that clear before going any further. Please enjoy the video. Second problem! The laser line you'd usually use to guide your aim? Apparently Blind Squirrel really wanted to live up to their name because you can barely see the damn thing. When everything goes dark to help light up the laser mechanics, they forgot to light up the laser mechanics! Speaking of the lighting, it gets pretty hard to see the stage thanks to the level 99 ultimate shroud of darkness they throw over the screen when you do activate the wisp. Believe it or not, the original game didn't get so dark you had to wait for your pupils to dilate before you could see where the bloody hell you were going! I don't even know how the main aiming reticule barely being visible even made it to launch. It wasn't even fixed in the day one patch. Heck, it took weeks before it was even fixed. Is it fixed? I don't even know! Oh, and problem 3. Where's the fucking music?! Jesus Christ! I don't know what's worse, the broken wisp meter, the Sonic from another dimension, or my brand new tinnitus! Even the laser's trail isn't lit up like it's meant to be. Like, honestly, how do you screw this up so badly? Well, at least the music at the end of the level's playing, even if it is only in one ear. Here, and I know that this one's a bit of a nitpick. Trust me, I know, but what's going on with the giant debris bursting out of the exploding numbers? They weren't always this big, right? No. No, they won't. No. Okay, so, well, I'll just let you guys in the comments decide which version looks better, huh? Cast your votes now! Time's up! The winner is... Sega, because you bought their busted-ass game. Now let's move on to Act 4.
I was holding back.
Damn it. I wish I could enjoy things. I wish I could. Sonic's run animation is slower than it is in the original level select. I know, right? Big deal, Radical Soda. What, do you get off on complaining? Yes, but that's not the point. Sonic's moving slower, but the sound effect of him running hasn't been changed. I don't care who you are, that's annoying. Whoa, new music! I almost forgot. Sonic Colors Ultimate has all new remixes throughout the entire game, and also for purchase on the Epic Games Store. You were so close, Sega, you...
It's also on Spotify, but they never give me any of those. They just give me sappy love songs over and over and over and over and you know.
Almost had it there. Aside from Sega being a money-hungry shotlet of a company with a day one DLC, one of them being a fucking texture swap for Sonic shoes, the remixes here in Tropical Resort are pretty good.
There you go.
Most of them are
Back
pretty
on
similar
track,
to the
right?
originals, and I would have appreciated an option to swap back to the original tracks, much like in other remasters. But as long as the music is good, I don't really mind all too much. And what do you know? They did eventually add that option in an update, even though the game takes 2 hours to beat, and so who the heck is still playing it? But hey, they tried, didn't they? Of course, all the good music in the world can't break through the ever-growing onslaught of unbalanced air-blasting sound effects. One day I'll be able to hear the music. One day! I'll never get why people like the stage design in this game. For the first 2 acts or so, yeah, like, the levels are fine. But here I am in Act 4 running through an exact replica of Act 1. It stops me feeling like I'm progressing through the game, more so rather I'm just flopping around in one place until the next cutscene plays. Could you imagine if in Sonic 3, Angel Island Act 2 was just a shorter version of Act 1 but now had blocks everywhere that didn't match the stage's theme? That would suck! And it's exactly what Sonic Colors does. It's got about 2 acts worth of content and then stretches it into 6. And on the rare chance they do add something new into these acts, it's usually shit! Now it's time to check out the new Wisp first introduced in Team Sonic Racing.
What's Team Sonic Racing?
You know what? I don't know. The Ghost Wisp allows you to homing attack through walls to enemies and, I'm gonna call them vortexes, I guess, in order to get around. Most of the Ghost Wisp segments feel slapped in at the last minute, often taking place in areas that'll usually be completely out of bounds. A couple of times I wasn't even sure if I was meant to be in a certain area, but it's not the worst Wisp out there by far. In fact, it's one of the more fun ones, as it doesn't exist just to give Sonic one of his old moves back, like the Spike Wisp with the Spin Dash or the Hover Wisp with the Lightspeed Dash. I'd also like to mention the Ghost Wisp music, but the game didn't want to play it for me, so we'll all just have to imagine how it sounds.
Wow, I sure am loving this Wisp. I'll have to play Team Sonic Racing sometime.
Team Sonic Racing? Oh, I remember that game. I was in charge of fixing the online matchmaking.
Oh, right. It was busted completely on day one, wasn't it? Like, how did that go?
I was in charge of fixing the online matchmaking.
What's wrong with the Wisp release on the world map? In the original, they scattered quickly and smoothly, but in Ultimate, they clip into their direction seemingly randomly and then take 6 years to reach their destination. It doesn't even look mildly finished. Much like the game as a whole. Don't worry, we're almost done with Tropical Resort. I mean, we've only got one more act left until the boss of the area, and I'll be damned if they screwed this one up.
I don't know if I'm a fan of the remixed music.
So apparently someone high up on the totem pole over there at Blind Squirrel really likes the sound of a crisp Tamagotchi speaker on a sunny day, because when loading into a level, there's a chance that the music will just start with the boosting filter activated. It stops once you, boost, but sometimes there aren't any white wisp capsules around or enemies to fight for a while, and you're forced to sit there and listen to it. You will enjoy Sonic Colors Ultimate. I'm starting to think I'd have a better opinion of the game if I'd been born deaf. Speaking of being deaf, I also wish I was blind, because Sonic's model looks like hot trash. Let's take a quick look at the original and compare it to the new one, huh? There's a couple of obvious changes between the two here, and a few you might not notice straight away. Of course, the new lighting looks terrible in Sonic, and that gives him the flattest look I've ever seen, but that's not really the fault of the model itself, more so a shitty decision made elsewhere that makes it look like ass. Firstly, this model is most likely an upscaled, more polygonally, why did I put the word polygonally in a... I can say it when I'm not saying it in a sentence I need to say. First off, this model is most likely an upscaled, more polygonally dense, come on, just say it, please. More polygonally dense version of the original. This means all of Sonic's animations from the Wii version should translate over to Ultimate with almost no issues. But this is Sega we're talking about, and what does Sega stand for? That's right, shittily engineered games. Ah! Why in the flippin' floppy freaking hell don't Sonic's eyes move? They moved in the original, and to be honest, that's not really a point in its favor, more so it's just something I expect in a video game. Fucking, you want to talk about mascot suit syndrome? Can you imagine if this is how Sonic looked in promotional artwork? That's not all, though. Not only do Sonic's eyes refuse to move, but they thought drawing a mouth on the bastard was a good idea, too. I mean, I understand this is more of a personal gripe with the Sonic's model or whatever, but here, Sonic looks determined. Here, he looks like he's missing his brain. And don't even get me started on the cream-colored areas. Why are they so bright? Every single comparison shot that I've stolen from Google Images just reinforces the fact that Ultimate is a downgrade graphically in almost every way. And we're not even just talking about Sonic anymore. I took one look at these images and said, holy shit, I haven't been harsh enough. We haven't even finished Tropical Resort! I finally collected enough of those park tokens to unlock a customization option, so I headed down to the laggy options menu and covered Sonic's gloves with clown jizz.
Very cool!
Now it's time for the Tropical Resort boss fight. Oh, it's over. The fight took 30 seconds and it died in 20. For 1/3 of the level, the boss was dead. I guess to get the S rank, I'll have to aim for a pre-null space time. Speaking of S's, Sweet Mountain's up next! I'll see myself out. Back when I first reviewed the original game, I remember enjoying the zone's theme. Not just for the food-related shenanigans, of course, but for the music, too. Sweet Mountain Act 1's got one of the best bombastic openings in any Sonic game. Huh? What is this? You promised me better than ever, Sonic Colors Ultimate. Includes Baby Sonic keychain. Oh, great! I get some trash with my garbage! After you get past the intro bit, the remix track actually sounds pretty good. Different, but still bringing a high-energy bop to the table just fine. But man, that intro. I don't know, man. I just feel like this was a missed opportunity to make the brass even louder. Now that's what I call a blast from the arse. You know, Sega, just because little Timmy brought his trumpet into the recording studio doesn't mean it should go in the game. Unlike Tropical Resort, Sweet Mountain doesn't actually look too bad, although it goes a little crazy with the light rays in some areas, especially in the 2D ones. Ah! Oh! Why did you scream?
You screamed first, it scared me.
Well, I had a good reason to scream.
What was that reason?
I saw a big bee.
Not really a good reason to scream, though, is it?
You're right, I'm sorry.
No problem.
I've neglected to mention the Eggman PA announcement so far. Not for any particular reason, of course. There's just been a lot to talk about, and sometimes it's nice not to spend 80% of the review in Tropical Resort. Anyway, they're back, and part of the audio problems, I'm afraid. That would be what, Eggman? That would be what? The Drill Wisp, of course, makes its return in this world, and it functions pretty much the same as it always did. This is Sonic Colors, after all. What the hell is this? Who put this line here? Looks like we not only have a Sonic from another dimension, but enemies and diamond thingies too. Great! Was that meant to happen? I want to see him suffer. You know, out of all the areas in the game, I feel like this one in particular could have really used the quick step. You've got your 3 lanes all set up for it, but nope, it's nowhere to be seen. You see, when I mentioned the lack of quick step buttons before, I'm sure some people...
Man, it's laggy.
Radical soda, you stupid git! You don't need it on its own buttons because the only sections where you want to use it are the ones that are specifically made for it. Well, don't you look stupid now. Go ahead, delete that comment before somebody notices. Oh, whoops, it's too late and your comment's being disliked by so many people. Not that it matters because this is YouTube we're talking about. Where dislikes don't mean a fucking thing because, oh no, big corporation made dumb decision and now looks as dumb as they are. Oh, what's this? 100 million free V-Bucks? Well, it must be legit. It's got over 2,000 likes and no dislikes. I went off track here at some point. What was I talking about again? Oh my god, I've got deaf in my right ear! Which means I can't hear all your guys' comments about me complaining about the sound mixing over and over again. I just realized there's a hole in the boost gauge. Why is there a hole in the boost gauge? Sonic Colors Ultimate never fails to impress me. It sat me down and said, Sonny boy, one boost gauge glitch just doesn't cut it no more. Here, have a second. Why did the drill wisp pop up there on a stage it doesn't even appear in? Because this is Sonic Colors Ultimate, the very best example of a game company just not giving a shit.
Like, bro, I've been holding back this entire time. I have no openings. And he's just, you know? Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, right? Go ahead. Take it. So, did they lobotomize him too? I mean, it's his game design. Or is it someone else's game design? It's just their IP. See? Exactly. See? But you guys are abusing it. I'm not the one abusing it. I'm trying to enjoy, you know, Akira Toriyama's gift. Just like everybody else, right? See? But look how you guys are abusing it. I'm just watching, mostly blocking. And it's still going. Wow.
The only other thing of importance in this level is the Rocket Wisp, and my goodness, I gotta go find someone who cares!
Is that the Rocket Wisp?
I just don't get it. I just can't wrap my head around how a remaster of a game, essentially an upscale port, can have this many issues. I must have seen it all at this point. Really regretting giving my money to Sega at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Did they just forget to animate that one? Here's something that's kind of just a Sonic thing in general, but say hello to our old friend Mr. Invisible Wall. Ain't it great to see him again? We all love Mr. Invisible Wall. Act 4? More like, why's the boost filter on, am I right? Kill me. It's good to see they didn't change any of the pulse-pounding action found here. Now this is what I play Sonic Colors for. When I picked up the game all those years ago, I thought to myself, damn, I can't wait for the moving platform segment. Holy crap, the Wisp music is working. I can finally critique the Ghost theme. It's generic spooky music. Am I meant to be here? At least you can skip the lift at the end of the stage by using the Ghost Wisp. If they're not going to change the level design to make them more interesting,
Just being harassed, and then he send, you know, me videos of other people
and saying,
being
oh
harassed.
yeah, this is happening! Now here's a little something that I didn't actually notice until somebody told me after I'd already played the game. So apparently, they've added a timer to the results screen to tell you know how long you have until Sonic stops paying attention to your input, so you can destroy all those numbers and get the special rewards. That's pretty cool. Would have been cooler if they'd finished the game, but hey, a timer! Awesome! I don't have a segue into this one. The robots just disappear here. I don't know, man. Like, come on. I'm getting bloody sick of this. Bug after bug, glitch after glitch. Like, if I...
Right? They shove
Holy
ass
crap.
down your throat.
I can't believe that Nintendo sent me an early copy of Mario Galaxy 3.
Moving at glacial pace. There's no sense of urgency, and the decisions that are made seem excessively juvenile. Goku says that they should use the regular Earth's Dragon Balls to relocate themselves to the Dragon Balls in space, but I say, that's pretty dumb. Why not just wish them to Earth? Did I just make the entire arc pointless? The vast majority of this episode covers very filler-centric stuff like Goku getting kidnapped, Pan pouting over not being let go, and Trunks goofing off of work. Additionally, no one seems to be taking this thing with the balls seriously other than Gohan, Chi-Chi, and Bulma. In reality, the most capable people should go on this life-threatening trip, not the children as a form of discipline. Also, Vegeta has a mustache. I just needed to say that. Pan then sneaks out onto the ship before blasting off and is now part of the party. Goku, Trunks, and Pan blast off into space. At this point in my watch through, I really like that Pan had a reason for leaving, to prove her maturity and independence. And in addition to this motivation, has a strong personality. It's not exactly a unique character.
Alright. Let's skip ahead.
That holds her grandpa and Trunks.
Oh wait, it's all the same thing,
fun,
right?
Sneaking around, little bits of action here and there with plenty of characters.
Oh, he doesn't want to play?
Through.
Okay.
This is GT, honestly.
Right?
with a Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just
Oop, waiting for them.
more than
You know,
any other
I called up there for a job interview and everything. They didn't want to get that to me. You know, I wanted to work there, but you know, they don't want to hire people like me, I guess. Even though I was working perfectly fine last year. You know? I mean, he gets it. Granted, you know, he was lagging a second ago. I'm not playing anything now, so, you know, I could just trounce him because, you know, it's a dude. Unless the game feels like, you know, throwing him a bone. What is he listening to? Akira Toriyama. What is he? No. Akira Toriyama's gone. Toyotaro? Bandai Namco? Who do I go to? Xfinity? New internet provider. New house. They'll just follow you. Exactly. See? So who do I go to? That car is going really fast. Where do I go to, bro? Oh, no, that was a wrong move. Indeed it was. Where do I go to? Sir. Sir, what are you listening to? Are you focused on the fight? You're not listening to my router, so I'm assuming you're a computer. You might not be real. I'm just saying. With the way the game's been, the whole system's been, I'm just saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
arc that's come before it. I've tried to remain as objective as I can in this review, and while I do have my criticisms of some creative choices made
With no audio and everything just plain Jane, get trounced. I'm sorry. And it's the way anybody with a stable connection, but you know, now they finna give me
in
somebody
this latest
weird.
arc, I must say that the themes explored
Unless
are
they're all
interesting,
AI.
and it boasts one of, if not the best first act to an arc I've yet seen.
Oh, check it. He got something over his right eye. This should be fun. Let's see how they, you know, talk shit about me. Already on it. Waste no
by
time.
modern Dragon Ball. I hope you're all sitting
Yep.
comfortably because we're about to dive back into
And
the
he's out.
expressive,
See?
impressive, and wonderful world of Dragon Ball. I'm totally not Mark, and this is my review for the Granola arc.
It's granola in the morning.
Oop.
We are literally 1 week away from the official start to summer. So let's get a little loose with it today. An American institution has fallen. A yearly tradition has been kneecapped.
And I don't care.
I love you.
The year is 2005. Revenge of the Sith just released in theaters. The Guerrillas just dropped the classic that is Feel Good Inc. The GameCube is on its last leg as Nintendo prepares for the Wii, and Xbox 360s are about to produce more rings than a jewelry store around Valentine's Day.
Targaryens.
Kids usually dream of one day becoming president or an astronaut or even just successful. But me, I wanted to beat Sonic Adventure 2. As a child who loved games, I was not very good at games, so my parents got me every guidebook they could and hoped.
Mecha Sonic Mark 1 do.
It's also weird they keep giving me the same exact ad, bro. The same exact ad. I'm just saying.
All of these things too, and we know that robot is not designed for flying or energy projection. Metal Amy, like every other robot in battle mode, is simply a skin. Interchangeable parts, but with the same core robot under the surface. So the design is all we have to work with.
Why you go hang out with your friends? They abandoned me, bro. They haven't hit me up not one time this year, really, so.
But this is not the only robot double of Amy Rose. Turns out there are quite a few we can look at, and to my happy surprise, all of them are awesome. Except for the only other time an Amy bot appeared in the core games. And I'm not even sure this counts, but I am of course speaking of the Amy doll that briefly appeared in Sonic Mania. And while I did just sound dismissive of this thing, I actually think this is a really clever bot design. Not only is this a lovely callback to the Tails doll, I'd say a doll copy is probably more appropriate for classic Amy. Yes, both of the cuter characters get creepy doll doubles, but the Amy doll doesn't have the same haunted history of its twin-tailed counterpart. That said, in terms of game canon, the Amy doll is technically more threatening than the Tails doll. See, creepy as the Tails doll can be, it might surprise some of you to learn that it's never actually attacked or harmed anyone in the game series. Even now that we have the IDW Comics canon to the games, the doll has never actively attacked anyone. And that is not the case for the Amy doll, or should I say Amy dolls, as it runs towards the player and then self-destructs upon contact. And that's extremely fitting for classic Amy.
I just got a wiggle in my stomach, bro. Again, I don't know where to go for this. I tried going to church. They looked just as confused as I was. Tried going to a doctor. They left me in a waiting room. If the security cameras is worth shit, they would have it on film me just dying in the waiting room. Never saw a doctor. End up just walking out. Nurses just looking at me. I'm just saying.
Amy's characterization, as she originally just latched onto Sonic's side when she was first introduced in Sonic CD. The Amy of
speak
old
up and ask for help? I just
Sonic
did,
with
right?
unwelcome affection, and I think that idea is perfectly captured in this deadly doll. Of course, outside of that, we do have plenty of other robot doubles found in the pages of Fleetway and Archie.
You're
Some
not
of
the
them
only
actually
one.
help me
All right,
better
then.
understand the lore
Perfect.
and canon they
Get off
come
my ass.
from, and others give me some inspiring
Enjoy your win.
ideas I hope we see in the future. For Sonic the Comic, we have two instances of Amy bots, both of them badniks designed to house the actual Amy Rose. The first one appears only very briefly and is destroyed before it is ever allowed to function, but this did give me my first real indication of how badniks work in this canon. I have read some stories featuring badniks before, but reading this issue showed me that the rules do fluctuate a little bit. Unlike the Sonic badnik, which we have covered before, this robot cannot function without Amy Rose serving as its battery, and on top of that, this Amy badnik shell is designed to control Amy herself, as she says, when she's captured and put into the robot, that she can feel the badnik programming beginning to take control of her mind. So this is kind of a mix between the classic game badnik, with an animal serving as a battery, and Archie and SatAM's robotization, where the animal person is turned from flesh to metal. So it's like an evil Iron Man suit, which is pretty cool. We never see.
Oh, again, they can make stories about it, but when somebody gets thrown out there, even the police laughs that they pulled me over and they were joking, had me in a nice tight triangle at all times. And then they, check the car thoroughly.
See it in action, which probably was for the best, as this was a prototype Super Badnik. Apparently, once the animal was installed into this particular type of robot, the process could never be reversed. So Amy was just saved from a springtrap situation.
Imagine. I asked for help. And they've been throwing me around all year. Whatever.
Yeah, I know a couple of FNAF things. I'm hip. I'm with it. Now, for the Super Badnik's design, this is just a silver Amy with a bad attitude and sharp angles added to her design. Kind of gives me Sonic or Mechasonic Mark 1 vibes. But instead of a buzzsaw haircut, she has buzzsaws for hands. It's not a very inspired design, but it was made to last one single page, so I get it. And even with that said, I still kind of like it. At least the hairdo. Closest we're probably ever going to get to a proper Super Amy hairstyle. Oh well. But this wouldn't be the only time we would see an Amy Badnik in Fleetway, and unfortunately for the Pink Hedgehog, this time it would take control, and oh my god, is this design nuts. This is about as Fleetway as things get. This is a wild look. I'd assume because this isn't a Robotnik Badnik. This was made by Commander Brutus, who, okay, to be fair, was made by Robotnik, but this robot would go on to rebel against its creator, and then Brutus would go on to create his own army of Badniks, one of which included Amy's Badnik shell. Like the Super Badnik, this one seems to have direct control of Amy, as opposed to being a separate robot entity simply powered by an organic battery. Like robotization, this would directly tap into the latent abilities of its host, as we can see with this version of the Badnik Amy. The Fleetway version of Amy Rose uses a crossbow, so the Badnik version in turn has gauntlets that fires arrows, utilizing Amy's sharpshooting skill set. I'm honestly surprised the main game canon never took the Badnik idea in this direction. This is a smart middle ground between a Badnik and the scariest parts of roboticizing someone. You keep the standard Badniks for flickies and other small animals, but also have specialized super Badniks meant to house the more powerful heroes that Eggman has to face. And hey, it's a great way to mess with Sonic, forcing him to fight his friends, as we see here in this story where he's forced to take on Badnik Amy. He's worried about going all out because he doesn't want to hurt her, which doesn't make a lot of sense because I just read a story where he wrecked a Badnik Amy while the real Amy was inside, and he didn't seem to have a problem with that. And doesn't he wreck Badniks all the time? They all have living creatures inside them. Is he just not worried about messing those critters up? I guess that would explain Sky Chase. Oh god, Sonic got the turtle! Well, story contrivances, and I guess arrows aren't as deadly as quills, as Sonic solves the issue by sending Badnik Amy's shots right back at her, destroying the shell and saving the real deal. I don't see how that's any more clever. It's fine, whatever, who cares. I do like the concept of the Super Badniks more than I like their designs, but like I said, I don't hate how these two robots look either. The second Badnik Amy has a wild look, at least in the face. It's almost alien. We got Cyber Amy, which we have now in this time is an intimidating thing. Deep down, I secretly love the color blue more than the color green. Your Patreon only gets you so far. Don't pull.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get.
I guess I could play Sonic and upload some videos. Because, you know, Fighter's just gonna keep throwing me in a circle.
Let's get going!
Sega.
I've got to hurry and save Elise.
Well, that happened.
Say your worst fears were realized. What is the worst thing that could happen?
Hello there, I'm Nick, and this is the Game Apologist, where we look for the good in bad games. And we had a pretty good run, didn't we? For a show called Game Apologists, I haven't had to do a whole lot of apologizing for the Sonic series up to this point. I mean, it got a little dicey with Sonic CD, but all in all, the classic Sonic games are classic. I've spent an exhausting amount of time explaining just that, going so far as to say that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is one of the greatest games ever made. I've seen that game compared to Super Mario World, Mega Man X, Donkey Kong Country, and whether or not you like that game over these other ones, it's not important to me. What is important is that it was compared to the very best of the Super Nintendo library, because that's how revered the Sonic franchise was back in the day. That was the general opinion of most gamers. But Sega went in a decidedly different direction with their next game, Knuckles Chaotix. This was a spin-off title for a spin-off system, using the popular Sonic rival as well as a collection of unique characters to experiment on just about every front. Everything from the core mechanics all the way down to how you select your character and level. There really isn't another experience quite like this game, be it in the Sonic franchise or in gaming in general. And because of that, it does have its fans, but also its detractors. There's a reason why you don't see this game on the exhausting amount of Sonic game collections in the years that followed. But to even talk about this game, we first need to briefly go over the system it was made for. We all know the story by now, but it bears repeating, lest we allow history to repeat itself. This is the 32X, a little Sega Genesis that sits on top of your actual Sega Genesis. It's basically an add-on that allows you to play 32-bit cartridges on your core system. You can still play regular Sega Genesis games, but it doesn't really change the experience. And the games made exclusively for the 32X can't be played any other way. You need this add-on to play that library. Sega decided to release this horrible tumor of an add-on and release it 2 months prior to their brand new Sega Saturn, which was already running into $299
99 problems prior to launch. But just to be completely fair, Nintendo was not above releasing this kind of stupid crap as well. Remember, this was in the same time as the Virtual Boy, and before that they did release the disc drive for the Famicom and later would do the same for the Nintendo 64, and neither of those were overwhelming success stories. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Granted, Sega went a little overboard with the Sega CD and would later redesign both that add-on and the Genesis itself, and then would go on and pack it all together into one little sexy machine that nobody ever heard of. But my point is that while we make fun of all that nowadays, if Sega had just released upgraded models of the Genesis that included 32X tech or the CD add-on, I mean, it really wouldn't be that much different from the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X. That's the iPhone business model, and PCs have been outdating their own tech the moment it goes up for sale for decades now. How's everyone enjoying their 3DSs with that extra thumbstick attachment? Oh, and don't forget your Amiibo NFC accessory. Also, you need Amiibos. No, those are different from the Skylanders. You have to buy all those separately to get everything out of that game. Oh wait, did you buy Xenoblade Chronicles? Well, you gotta throw all this crap out, man. That only works on the new 3DS. Well, never mind, I guess history was going to repeat itself anyway. But you see my point here? Sega's bonehead decisions really aren't that different from other game companies with the capital to extend the life of their expensive hardware. It's just more apparent when it looks like you're building a snowman out of Sega consoles. Someone had to make these mistakes if anyone was going to learn from them or improve upon the idea. Of course, you could also point out that the Sega CD wasn't exactly an overwhelming success, so maybe don't do that again. But they went ahead and did that again. And I would say much less successfully. Because at least the Sega CD had some truly stellar titles that made the purchase worthwhile. You had Lunar, Popful Mail, Snatcher, and of course, Sonic CD. The 32X, on the other hand, had the worst version of Doom, the worst Spider-Man game, and a bird shmup. That was actually a selling point for me as a kid. I thought this game looked super rad. And that's not to say there aren't good games on the 32X, but the libraries are not comparable. Not even remotely close. But the 32X did at least have a Sonic CD equivalent. And Chaotix came out after CD. It came out after Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But it's not quite the follow-up one would hope for. And many would argue it's not even as good as the messy Sonic CD. And I should give you Sonic Warriors a little warning. With this game going forward in the Sonic series specifically, you're gonna be seeing a lot of them on Game Apologists, and not my spin-off show, Unapologetic. That series is set aside for games I feel are truly masterpieces.
And with that, I'm going into my private recording session. If you're actually in the stream, thank you for watching. I'll be streaming some point tomorrow. This one is every day. So yeah.